start with the Shea Weber one?
Yeah, a little bit of housekeeping on our end. I think it helps us be able to accumulate some cap space next year and tidy up a few loose ends too. So a little bit of housekeeping, I'd say, but I think it helps us, and we're able to get that done and get that accomplished now instead of waiting till the draft. So it's good.
Was it kind of the plan to have a conservative approach at the deadline, and what do you think that does for the guys in the room not seeing anyone leave?
Well, I think it's misleading at the deadline for us because we did a lot of stuff in the summer. If you think about the acquisitions of Marino and Sergachev and Stenlund, and then all of a sudden we had injuries, so then we went out and added Mata and we grabbed DeSimone off waiver. So all of a sudden we've added all those people into the mix, and then our team down the stretch here is, I think, 7-3. So we're moving in the right direction, and you don't want to break up that chemistry, and you want to let everybody fight. If there was a deal out there that put us over the edge with a dynamic player like a Sergachev or something, we were all in. I mean, we've got all the assets, but we want to move very smartly, very planned and very calculated through the process. And I like where our group's at, and that's the other thing. You don't really want to go in there with about 20 games left, try and throw something together and see if it works. You know, we're going on the ice right now with what we know works.
What kind of message do you think that gives to the group, and what confidence does that give them that you believe in the guys who are here now?
Well, I think it's great confidence for the group. I mean, they deserve it. I mean, our team's been through a lot this year. I think with all the injuries at the start, and then you watch how they fight, they deserve to fight together. And that's what they've earned the right to do.
With the the 4 contract extensions that you got done this week, were those cases of these guys are either going to stay in Utah for next year or we're going to ship them out at the deadline?
I don't know. We really like them. You know, they're really a piece of our fabric, our culture. They're really easy guys to like because of their play on the ice, but also helping our culture and grow and become a winning organization, a playoff organization, an organization that can take a step to winning a championship. And, you know, Veggie was a huge one for us. The way he plays, he saved our season. You know, he's come in there and just done an amazing job. And I think when you're going out there and extending a contract like we did to him, you know, we know who he is. He comes to work every single day. He's great around his teammates. There's nothing about team. We know what we're getting. So that was a big one for us. I think, you know, adding Mata, he's such a professional. He's so good at his role on the ice. He just solidifies our defense. And then you see Cole last night. He blocks that big shot at the end of the game like he's all in. So to be able to reward him, and then Kerf, who's one of the best penalty killers in the league, and can kind of jump around and just, you know, patch holes when we're injured. Those guys are huge for our organization, and to be able to reward them with a contract and let everybody else know, hey, they're coming back, they're part of the team, and we want to move forward with them. It's a great statement for us as an organization to be able to do that at this time of the year.
After so many years of, like, I guess, tearing things down, taking on dead contracts, how does it feel to be on the other side of that and, like, giving away one to clear up cap space?
Yeah, it's good to be on that side. You know, there's different phases that you go through as you're building their team. You know, some teams right now in the top 10, you can see they're all in. Like, they're all completely put everything in, and we're not at that point right now. We're at the point where, you know, if you look at Logan Cooley and you look at, you know, Josh Stone and Gunther and our young players, we have to wait to a certain extent till they are becoming at the best they can be. And that's going to be a few years from now. That's not right now. So there has to be a patience level as we let them grow into becoming great players. And then, you know, there's a certain time, as I say, every deadline's different. In the stage of your team, you could be all in at that time.
How many steps forward has the team taken in terms of the rebuild this year?
You just want to get to the point when you're asking those questions that you're like, are you guaranteeing the playoffs? I know how you think. We've taken good steps. I like the way our team plays. I think there's been some learning lessons along the way as we blew 4-1 leads, and, you know, like, those are painful for us. There's a lot of pain you have to go through to make the next step. And what I liked about last night's game is we got off to a slow start, but when we got that lead, we played the right way. And those are from lessons that we've learned along the course of the season. So I think we have taken some steps. You know, we're getting there. We're in the fight. We're right where we're supposed to be. It's with a massive game today. Like, I think there's 20 game 7s left for us to play, I think. So it's on, definitely.
With the Melka's contract done, how do you see the future of Connor Ingram and his role in this organization?
Well, you never know with goaltenders. You know, they're both great goaltenders, so they'll both get the chance to stop the puck in big games for us, and they'll further help this club by stopping the puck. And who knows? I've never been one to come out and say, "Yeah, this guy's the starter." This guy, you're going to need both. In this day and age, there's so many games played. There's back-to-backs. You need two good goaltenders. So we expect Ingy when it's his turn up to go in there and be a rock star and get us the win.
Similar question with Matias Michelli. He's been a healthy scratch in terms
Yeah.
of his development. Just how do you view that in Utah?
Well, I mean, there are players every year on your team that have down years. That's a part of the cycle where you have guys that have incredible years, guys with down. Matias is a good player. He's found himself in a little bit of a rut here, but as the season moves along, I can remember we had a kid, Jaden Schwartz, who played for us, and his year wasn't great, but he was our best player in the playoffs. So you never know. You have to stay positive. And if you look at Liam O'Brien on our team, he sat out a lot of games. He waited his turn, but when he got in there, he had an impact on our club. And maybe one of the biggest games of the year, we went and beat Calgary, and he was one of our best players. So, even though it's a down year and he's got to come back, he's got to find a way to help us win down the stretch when it's his turn up. And he's had a great attitude, and he's a pro about it.
You talk about liking this group of guys. Just in a perfect world for you, what do you want the identity of this team moving forward to be?
Well, I think they've shown that already. A little bit of resiliency. I think that's the biggest thing for our club, is to be resilient. It doesn't go our way. Even last night, we weren't great in the start, but we found a way to win. And we need to have that resilience to push the group and be able to get over that hump and try and get into the playoffs. And I like what our group has done in the sense that when we do make mistakes and we blow leads or we do stuff that young teams do, we'll come back and fix it. So I think resiliency is a part of that, and I think they've shown that. Yeah.
Moving Weber's contract, how does that help set this team up in terms of the offseason and potentially taking a bigger swing?
Well, as you start to go through the process, it's just the process of being, are you on LTIR and you're locked in at what you're not accumulating cap space. So what this does is allow us to accumulate some cap space. So maybe next year at this time, if we need it down the stretch, we can actually go out and find a player that will fit in. So it just gives you a little bit more flexibility when the contract's not on our books.
Logan Cooley is eligible to sign this summer. Have you kind of started thinking about that and talking, long-term or bridge kind of deal?
Well, you see why Johnson there signs, and there's a lot of comparables that will come up, and we'll deal with that as we get there. But that's a good problem to have, It's a really good problem. He's doing a heck of a job for a young player. He plays in the number one line. He plays PP, PK. He's a huge impact player for us, and he's had a great season, and we're looking for him to push the pace and help us get in down the stretch, and we'll deal with the contract in the summer.
When the team moved, there are kind of questions of, would players want to stay here? Would they want to resign here? Just what do you think it says about Utah and what you're building here that you got 4 guys to extend?
Well, number one, Utah is an incredible place for our players to play, and you saw that when they re-signed. They got the mountains, you got a little bit of snow, you got an incredible arena with an amazing owner that has invested a lot of time and energy and money into making this an elite franchise. And when I say that, you're talking about a new practice rink that's coming through the door next September, and that's and we always had a temporary one built down the street that's incredible too. And you can feel the vibe and the energy from our fans. It's just it's now that we get in there and play in front of our fans in the Delta Center, it's becoming real now for us, where you can just feel that energy. You can feel our team start to play well there. Utah's an incredible place to play, and I think you've seen that when we have all our players that have re-upped and signed. It's a good environment with our coaching staff. They've done a great job of bringing everybody along, getting the best from them. At the same time, I think that does make a statement for the marketplace here.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Does Sean Dursey, is he fine after leaving this game? Do you know?
Yeah, I think we all held our breath. Yeah, I believe that he's going to be okay. And he's a tough kid, and that all threw us for a little bit of a loop on a blindside hit there. I don't think it was on purpose, but we all held our breath on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you.